It's this. I'll tell you right off the bat. It's this. Not the console, but the controller itself. Now, this right here, you might recognize, is the Xbox 360 controller. I prefer it over the One, even though I understand that the One has better functionality. Plus, I couldn't really find the controller that I had for the One. But I love the Xbox 360. It's great. I've had iconic gaming times. I got it before I got the PlayStation 4, and I love the PlayStation 4, and I have my PS5. But now, no one can afford consoles, no one can afford anything, right? The RAMpocalypse has run amok and has made things just absolutely unattainable, right? To the casual individual, right? Without people having a couple grand burning a hole in their pockets. And so with the whole Ashes Warmer situation and Xbox, there is room to feel optimistic, but I run more cynical. And I feel like although there is a lot of promise there, industry is going to industry, and it's going to do what it does, and not much is going to change. And I feel like consoles themselves will only keep raising the price, which is not fun for us, the people who love to play video games. And so I had to think, what would be a solution that would be somewhat sustainable, somewhat palatable to the person? Because I'm an advocate for the physicality of things. I like holding things in my hand, right? And of course, with the whole situation with Rockstar and GTA 5, which, by the way, I feel, although it's not fun, is somewhat fair in terms of them avoiding leaks and stuff. But that's a whole other question. But in terms of Xbox themselves, we need to think of this long term, because RAMpocalypse seemingly isn't just gonna like snap and go away, right? So how do we do this? How do we contend with this situation? And Xbox has now sort of pivoted away from this sort of Xbox Anywhere philosophy, which I arguably has diluted Xbox in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, well, if an Xbox is anywhere, then why do you need an Xbox, right? And it's got me thinking, what's something that could really hold ground in terms of the ability for people to connect and for people to feel like they, or at least genuinely have ownership over something that they possess, right? And it got me thinking, well, if consoles are no longer the focus, then maybe something else should be. And in terms of handhelds, even handhelds are going to be having their day with prices going up and things getting more expensive as well. So what's the lowest common denominator? Or not the lowest common denominator, but what's the thing that people feel is something that they possess and that can transfer over? And I feel like this is it. It's the controller itself. And the controller is something that most people have, most people own. And obviously there's like the Elite Edition, there's the like Super one for PlayStation that's evading my mind right now. But these are physical items and that we hold dear and have arguably gotten better and better. I really like the new PlayStation controllers, and I feel like Xbox should have made a bigger leap with when they went to the Series S and X, but again, that's a whole other story. But for this, I feel if you had the solution of linking your account to your controller and having a sort of means for linking your Xbox Live, but your Xbox account directly to your controller, and have that be the sort of like means for you to interface, would be kind of cool. So then every Xbox becomes its own sort of port that your controller can connect with, right? And so it would be a lot fancier than this. I got this for nostalgic purposes, but also because I just like, when I hold on to it, it just feels right. It just feels correct. But obviously it would be a much newer controller with better haptics and better all sorts of like fun doodads and gizmos. And that would be the thing, is that it would be relatively cheap. It would be relatively cost effective. I argue, well, now controllers are kind of getting up there to $70, sometimes $80 in certain places. There's a Steam controller, which is also fun. And I feel like you could just have like a very small little chip in there, ideally that won't, break the bank, and probably pointing towards the more premium controllers. So like, the Xbox Elite one and the DualSense one or the DualShock one from PlayStation. And then have it be sort of almost like an amiibo, almost like but an amiibo of you, an amiibo of your account. And Xbox would have an update that would then make you would be able to get like a little prompt and it'd be like, okay, opt in or out. Do you want this feature to be able to do? And when someone comes over to your house and then they have their sort of controller lock in, it would mean that they could sign in without having to go through the whole thing. And it would be like maybe a temporary sort of thing, and maybe you have to embed a code. But then when you're done, you take your controller and you leave. And it allows for this sort of social play kind of dynamic. It allows for you to sort of, and all of your achievements and all this fun stuff gets locked into there. And perhaps if you have more people over and more people getting in there, you also get like achievement points, or they still do points. I haven't played on the Xbox. I have the one right now, but it's haven't done it so in years, right? So I feel like it would be a new frontier, and it would be a means to have an affordable way to sort of revolutionize gaming, right? Instead of the focus being on the console, or instead of the focus being on the platform, this nebulous platform that like is hard to sort of grasp, especially when you meld it with the idea of a PC world, you get it somewhere in between. You put the software idea of a platform in the hardware that is attainable, that is tangible, that is physical, and that feels like your own. You can customize it. I think that would be really cool too. Heavy emphasis on customization, heavy emphasis on making it your own. Maybe they even have like, you can make it a 2FA key, or you can make it like you have like a fingerprint sensor in there so you can get biometrics. Get wacky with it, get weird with it. I feel like that would be something that would truly allow for people to feel like they have ownership of stuff. Because right now, it kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like every day there's some new headline of something that's, oh, you own things less and less. And I feel like that's sad, and I feel like there is the capacity for things to get better. Because I'm an optimistic guy. Anyways, thank you very much for listening. And remember to stay human out there.